At the heart of the programme is a belief that education systems can support sustainable development. But if education systems are to do so, then they themselves need to be radically transformed. We're aiming to develop a sustainable network of researchers in partner countries to undertake Southern-led research into the role of education as a driver for sustainable development, specifically in relation to supporting sustainable cities, in supporting climate action, and in supporting sustainable livelihoods and economies, and to co-produce the evidence and arguments urgently needed to transform education and training systems to be drivers of sustainable development. So it's a 3.5-year project funded by the Global Challenges Research Fund at £4.75 million. The vast majority of that money will be going to the Global South. Much of it will be used to develop capacity to undertake and administer research amongst organisations that aren't necessarily used to doing research. We're working across 4 hub partner countries: Rwanda, South Africa, Somalia and India. And there's also a virtual hub where we hope to bring together the evidence and to synthesise it.
To me, it means education that is relevant to the everyday lives of young people, that is responsible in terms that it's contributing to regenerating the earth, to socially just environments, to gender equality, the sustainable development goals in general, but also that it is reimaginative, that it's a pedagogy of hope.
We must do things differently. We must transform. And we must be able to humble ourselves to learn, even from people that we thought had nothing to contribute, so that our world can be better.
So to form partnerships with different types of groups that have got different types of, skills, and it's a kind of research that is kind of co-engaged, a kind of research that's generative, a kind of research that actually is also a process of change. I think the challenges in South Africa are, we're struggling with many different historical legacies that we're trying to resolve. But in essence, it's actually about mobilizing learning and social learning and education processes and education institutions to be part of sustainability and social justice.
In the case of Somalia, the formal education system has collapsed in the late 80s and early 90s. And since then, you have a fragmented system run by different stakeholders. And the idea is to help them to transform those systems. And Somalia is one of the least prepared countries in terms of climate change. And in fact, one of the most vulnerable. And the idea is to also put climate change in the center of the education that we plan to do.
The call for research proposals, it could be to do with gender equality, it could be to do with the kind of social inequality that, let's say, a country like India faces. But the end of 2 decades of reforms told us that things are not moving or changing very much, specifically in terms of children's learning levels. So the learning crisis is quite glaring.
They want to see the research that actually comes in to respond to people's challenges on a daily basis, possibly not get lost into academia. It's not business as usual. If you want something new, you're going to work differently. I already foresee some non-conventional applications from the youth organizations, from the women organizations, from the civil society, because these are the people that actually stay with the local people. They know their concerns.
I would like to invite everyone to be part of this project. So please watch out for the announcements for project proposals and bring your wisdom. And we'd like to see how together we can begin to generate new forms of learning that will transform our world.